Hi everybody, my name is Melissa and welcome back to my writing channel, Hopeful Happenings. We're talking today about how to stay creative when you're a parent. I know that writing as a parent can be really difficult, especially when you've got young children. I have two kids right now, a 3-year-old and an almost 1-year-old. She's not 1 yet, so I'm not saying that she's 1 until she's literally 1, but almost 1-year-old, and they are a handful. And sometimes writing a book while also taking care of children is just either not possible or going to be very difficult. So here are 7 ways that you can stay creative and keep those creative writing juices flowing even if you are unable to actually write. Okay, number 1, write down any new idea you have. And I'm talking like as soon as you come up with the idea. The best way for me to do this is usually on my phone. As soon as I come up with an idea, I just grab my phone and I'll often just put it on the speaker and I'll just tell my phone what my idea is. I've done this while playing with the kids. I've done this while going on a walk with the kids at the park. I do this all over the place because ideas just come all over the place and I don't want to lose them. I've also written ideas down in notebooks before, but sometimes when I'm like with the kids, my phone is what I can grab easier than a notebook. And try to write as much as possible. Like as the idea is fresh, write everything down. If you actually have a good idea for a scene or a dialogue or first page, write it all down. Like just get it all out because you never know when you'll be able to revisit that idea and you want everything to make sense next time you revisit it. Okay, number 2, outline. Sometimes writing the actual novel is going to be really difficult, but something that's a smaller and more manageable task is outlining your novels. And I always, ever since I discovered the book at least, I've been using Save the Cat to help me outline my novels. It's a great book. If you haven't read it, you really should. And that has helped me it actually kind of goes hand in hand with what I said first. I write an idea down and then if I'm able to, I write as many ideas in regards to the outline of Save the Cat as I can. Like what would be the midpoint and what would be the climax at the end? Or how would it start? Like what would be the thing that they change? What would be their B story? What would be their A story? Even if you can't actually sit down and write the novel, outlining books is just as good because when you do have the time to write your book, now you have like 5 different book outlines that you can choose from. Number 3, write when the baby sleeps. Obviously, if you don't have a baby and maybe your kids are a little bit older, this is going to be difficult, if not impossible. But if you have a child and they do take naps, take advantage of the naps. Like that's really a great time to work. Also, if you have any sort of like play date where they're off, or maybe your kids go to preschool or school, use that time. How much time is completely up to you, but don't disregard that time. Don't clean the house. Like, oh man, there's so many times where I have actually wasted like an hour of them sleeping to clean the house instead, when really I can actually clean the house while they're awake. They kind of enjoy helping me, but I cannot write while they're awake. It's impossible. I don't even want to be on a screen when they're awake. So use that time wisely, right when the baby sleeps. Number 4, read. Reading is like the gold mine of ideas. You will get so many good ideas from reading. Also, your just knowledge of the written word increases with every book that you read, especially if you're reading in the genre that you write in. So read. And if you are really busy, and I'm guessing you are if you're watching this video, then also taking advantage of audiobooks is a great way to read. If you do errands a lot, reading an audiobook in the car is great. Or if you are at home cleaning the house or baking, listening to an audiobook is great. Number 5, work with beta readers. Have people read your work. You may not realize how amazing beta readers can be. They can give you incredible ideas that you never would have thought of. They also can point out flaws, and that's kind of what you want them to do. You want them to point out all the things that don't make sense, and why? Because then you can fix it. There has been so many drafts for me that I thought were really good, and I gave it to my beta readers, and right away they were able to see a flaw that I had just completely glossed over. So if kids are stopping you from writing, then have someone else read it to give you feedback so that when you can write, you've got all these new ideas. Number 6, plan a date of creativity. I know it may be really difficult for you and your husband, or you and your significant other, to have time alone from the kids. I mean, when I'm home with my husband and we have no kids, one of the things that we often tend to do is we watch a show. And although there's nothing really wrong with watching a show, but there are ways to have time together that are more creative that could help, 1, your bond with your significant other, and 2, it can help your writing. For example, my husband and I played a game once on a date. We just did this at home because we had a new baby and we couldn't afford a babysitter, so we decided to just stay home. We drank some hot chocolate, and what we did is we made a list of all these different random things. I think we did 1 to 20, and we just came up with all these random things separately. So mine was like, number 1, popcorn, number 2, snowman, number 3, couch, number 4, blanket, and like you just go on. And I think we decided they had to be nouns, but you can do whatever you want. And my husband was doing the same thing on his list. Then we randomly picked a number, and it was like, okay, 12. My 12 says hamburger. Your 12 says snowflake. Now our task is to write a sentence using both of these words, and the best sentence wins. And we just like went down the list and did all these crazy funky sentences. Some of them were so hilarious, some of them just didn't really make sense, but I actually came up with my young adult dystopian idea from this game. Like, I can't even tell you how random ideas can be, but hey, it sparked something in me that I had never thought about before. I ran with it, and eventually I had an outline, and I wrote the book, and I'm working on the second draft of it right now. So a simple date with your significant other can make a huge difference in inspiring creative ideas. And it does not have to be with a significant other. It can be with a friend, it can be with a sibling. I bet you could even do this with a group of people and award prizes to whoever comes up with the funniest ideas. All right, and our 7th way to stay creative as a parent is just to review your work often. The reason for this is, even if you're not able to write, reviewing your work is going to help you keep the ideas fresh in your head. You want to be always thinking about it, because when you're always thinking about something, your subconscious works out solutions to the problems that you have, and suddenly, bam. I mean, that's why you always come up with good ideas when you're doing something else, like driving or showering. It's because if you think about something first and then do something else, your subconscious works while you're doing that other thing. So review your work, and you will be surprised with how often new ideas will come. And if you're writing all these new ideas down as you go, then by the time you do have a spare moment to write, you'll have all the work almost done for you. You just have to put it on paper. Well, there you have it. Those are 7 ideas for how to stay creative as a parent when you're writing. I hope this helped. If you are new here, then welcome. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a week of writing content. I post once a week on YouTube, and I post daily on Instagram, sharing my own writing journey. And I do have some exciting news. If you haven't already seen on my Instagram or my Twitter, I will also be making a video about it next week. Some very, very exciting news for next year. So good luck with your writing, and we'll see you next week. Bye.